everything that you think you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. It's a gift. I was sitting in my mother's beauty parlor, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I see behind me this woman under the dryer. And every time she looked up, every time I looked up, she was looking at me, just looking me in the eye. I didn't know who she was. And I said, she said, somebody give me a pen. Give me a pencil. I have a prophecy. March 27, 1975. She said, boy, you are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. Now, mind you, I was flunked out of college. I'm thinking about joining the Army. I didn't know what I was going to do. And she's telling me I'm going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. Well, I have traveled the world. And I've spoke to millions of people. But that's not the most important thing, the success that I had. The most important thing is that what she taught me and what she told me that day has stayed with me since. I've been protected. I've been directed. I've been corrected. I've kept God in my life, and it's kept me humble. I didn't always stick with him, but he always stuck with me. So stick with him in everything you do. If you think you want to do what you think I've done, then do what I've done and stick with God. Number 2, fail big. That's right. Fail big. Today is the beginning of the rest of your life, and it can be very frightening. It's a new world out there. It's a mean world out there. And you only live once. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. But don't be afraid to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. And they ultimately fuel disappointment. So have dreams, but have goals. And understand that to achieve these goals, you must apply discipline and consistency. In order to achieve your goals, you must apply discipline, which you have already done, and consistency every day, not just on Tuesday and miss a few days. You have to work at it every day. You have to plan every day. You've heard the saying, we don't plan to fail, we fail to plan. Hard work works. Working really hard is what successful people do. Remember that. Just because you're doing a lot more doesn't mean you're getting a lot more done. Don't confuse movement with progress. My mother told me, she said, yeah, because you can run in place all the time and never get anywhere. So continue to strive, continue to have goals, continue to progress. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I'll say it again. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I don't care how much money you make, you can't take it with you. And it's not how much you have. It's what you do with what you have. We all have different talents. Some of you will be doctors, some lawyers, some scientists, some educators, some nurses. The most selfish thing you can do in this world is help someone else. Why is it selfish? Because the gratification, the goodness that comes to you, the good feeling that I get from helping others, nothing's better than that. Nothing's better than that. Not jewelry, not big house I have, not the cars, but it's the joy. That's where the joy is in helping others. That's where the success is in helping others. Finally, I pray that you put your slippers way under the bed tonight so that when you wake up in the morning, you have to get on your knees to reach them. And while you're down there, say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. It's how I live my life. That's why I am. One of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. Say it again. True desire in the heart, that itch that you have, whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you, sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. And anything you want.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to episode 205, Coffee and Crypto. Appreciate you all for being here this morning. Definitely couldn't send out the message too much today because I still don't have a phone. So it's been since like Sunday. So you know what I mean? If you've been trying to reach me or whatever, I don't know. I'm not getting no messages. I don't know. I've been completely plugged out of the world for the last like 4 or 5 days. So anyway, if y'all can help me just send this message out because I can't. So if y'all can help me send the message to Discord, to Telegram. Unfortunately, I don't have a phone to do it myself. So that would be extremely helpful just to pick up the numbers here. But even if y'all don't have the time to do that, appreciate you for showing up. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive into today's show. Honestly, I don't have a whole lot of content to share today. So we're just gonna cover the little things that I have to share, and then we're gonna get on up out of here and keep the day tracking. All right. So with that being said, welcome to the show. Let's keep going. All right. So the very first thing that that I wanted to share today was what's happening right now over at Robinhood. So I'm gonna play this quick video so that you all can see the newest updates to Robinhood and a huge acquisition of Bitstamp that they have been trying to make come into fruition. And it's kind of weird because I thought Ripple had this acquisition, but apparently Robinhood also is fighting for this Bitstamp acquisition to expand into Europe and into other countries. So watch this video.
And just a few minutes ago, that has agreed to acquire cryptocurrency exchange Bitstamp. Joining us right now to talk about this news and so much more. Vlad Tenev is the Robinhood CEO and co-founder. It's great to have you at the table this morning.
Thanks for having me.
So let's walk through this deal, and then I want to get into meme stocks and everything that's going on in the markets right now.
Sure.
But what does this do in terms of what you're doing with crypto and everything else?
Yeah, it's really three things that got us excited. One is this is an international business, and it accelerates our plans for international expansion, particularly in crypto. Second, it brings an exchange to Robinhood, and we've been thinking for a long time that the world could use a Robinhood exchange. We have a lot of ideas about how we can improve upon that. And as we talk to our market makers, we see there's a clear need for another player in the market. And then the third, institutional business. This allows Robinhood to enter a new business, serving market makers and other institutional customers. And that's something that's very exciting for us.
So what does a Robinhood exchange look like? And what does this say, or does it say anything about regulation in crypto in the US versus elsewhere outside of this country, and where you think the growth opportunity is?
Yeah, the business is global, Bitstamp that is.
Right.
It's Europe-based. And as you guys probably know, Europe, we make fun of us Europeans. I could say us Europeans because I'm American and European, lead in regulation. And in this particular case, MiCA, which is the crypto asset regulation, is going live. So there's an established regulatory framework. And unfortunately, Europe is a little bit ahead in this regard, but I don't think the US is too far behind. I think that it's always kind of darkest before dawn, as they say, and you're seeing some positive signs.
This will serve, though, foreign customers, if you will, meaning American customers will not be able to necessarily use some of these services, right?
Well, again, I think it gets a little tricky with the institutional business. A lot of these customers are based globally and have offices around the world. We haven't yet gotten to the point where we're going to discuss the details of exactly how the integration is going to go, but we do anticipate it serving global customers.
The reason I ask is there's a staking business, and as you know, staking right now is a hot topic in Washington. Coinbase is in the middle of a bit of a brouhaha. That might be a polite word for it. So I'm just trying to understand how you're thinking of keeping the business to the extent that any of these businesses have to be separated for now.
Yeah, I mean, we've already had to go down that road. So we launched Solana staking for customers in the EU, but given the regulatory environment here, we've been unable to launch that product for customers in the US. There are differences in asset listings between the EU and US. So, I mean, we're going to have to continue doing that as we expand the business with the exchange.
Okay. Can we talk about the roaring kitty of it all? What do you make of what's happening right now?
Look, I think for us, it's an opportunity to show how much we've grown since 2021, since the first of the meme stock frenzy incidents. And I think the really interesting thing is that these events have really been starting in the overnight sessions.
Right.
All right. So just to show you all kind of the expansion, this is this right here is the beginning, right? And we've already been in it, but we still are in the beginning phases of that mass adoption that we talked about, right? So just be patient, like even the moves, I feel like even the moves in crypto that has made you money, like some of you all have been able to, maybe 10x your income, some of us been able to, maybe turn $1,000 account because you invested in the right thing into 10 grand, maybe 6 grand, maybe more, I don't know. But whatever the case may be, understand that even that move that got you excited isn't even the move that is going to get you excited. So don't allow for these early moves to really control your excitement is what I'm trying to tell you all, because we still haven't even got into the regulatory phase, the regulatory framework, and it's coming fast. And I believe it'll be done probably by 2025, right? Probably by 2025, we'll have all the regulations in that we need. Maybe not all of them, but enough of them where we can see the first bank that runs a public crypto transaction through distributed ledger technology, right? And no more speculative running. So I'm really excited to see where all of this goes and to understand something that, this entire industry, and I've actually been studying, starting yesterday, I've started to study for myself, a lot of stuff within blockchain. I'm starting to go and get a couple of certifications, a couple of free courses online when it comes to these things. And I'm just back in my learning mode. I'm back in my learning phase because I always want to make sure that I'm up on game. And a lot of stuff I'm learning, I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I already know. And that's why I tell people, like, even if I've been doing this for 7 years, y'all. Like, if I turn around, like constant learning, like every day, like every single day, I'm plugged into this. And so here's the thing. If I'm still learning, then you also should be in a willingness to learn. You should have a willing attitude to want to learn every single day, because it's so many things that's changing everything, right? Putting in those reps, you know what I mean? Definitely putting in them reps. So just wanted to show you all kind of what's happening right now over in Robinhood. We're not done talking about it. That was the first video, but they did tweet out, we're accelerating Robinhood crypto's worldwide expansion. If Robinhood does not have a crypto wallet. So when you purchase crypto on Robinhood, you can't send it to another space or another place. You kind of just have to hold it, and just like a stock, Robinhood at the moment, they treat crypto like stocks. You can't transfer it. So if you're holding on to crypto on Robinhood, the only way to exit as of now, or as I know, last time I checked Robinhood, and I don't check it, I'm not an expert of Robinhood, so if I'm wrong, my apologies. But the last time I checked Robinhood, you could only sell out into like US dollars. So you couldn't even transfer your Robinhood over to a ledger or some other place like that. So I tell people Robinhood was not the place to purchase crypto. But if they do get this feature with Bitstamp and they do get this acquisition and they do have the ability to now transfer, which I believe they've been working on for quite some time, which I believe this is the move for them to be able to start moving in the right direction of that, then that doesn't mean, to me, then Robinhood may be a great place, to purchase crypto, the same as Coinbase. Like if Coinbase, crypto.com, Uphold didn't have those features of transferring out, I would tell you the same thing. Don't buy your crypto over on those platforms because you don't want to leave your crypto on any type of exchange or fintech application. Okay, so this has been all over Robinhood's website, Robinhood to acquire Bitstamp. There's another, now if you guys take a look right here, this right here comes from Smoke Dog. Okay, Ripple, XRP, Handshake, Bitstamp, all coming full circle. So I want to just show real quick this right here. This was from an official Ripple documentation. So it says XRP, a bridge currency for liquidity. XRP can also serve as an ideal bridge for liquid currency pairs. In theory, users of the Ripple network could exchange anything of value. This includes fiat currencies, digital currencies, gold, and even items like loyalty points, air miles, or securities. Isn't that kind of interesting? So even like air miles, loyalty points, rewards, securities, all of this can be transferred, through XRP. And if you look right here, you can see, if we zoom in a little bit more, you can see these different currencies. You can see JPY, you can see USD, you can see BTC from Bitstamp, you can see CHF from Bitstamp, you can see, a GBP from Bitstamp, right? So, and again, Bitstamp was already put into what? The Ripple documentation. If you look right here, this is an official Ripple document, Ripple Labs Inc., all rights reserved. So if you look right here, you can see that Ripple serves as the intermediary. It serves as the bridge for connection to all of these different fiat and other networks out there. So I thought that was pretty interesting to see. Let's see. And then if we take a look right here, let me zoom in a little bit. Where is this from? This is from Purdue University. So this was a Purdue document. Okay, it shows six different people. Excuse me: Alice, Charles, Edward, Bob, Daisy, and Fanny. Okay, so if you guys can see, there's different transactions being pushed out through Bitstamp right now. If we look right here, illustrative example of the Ripple network. Each credit link is tagged with two values, A, B. A denotes the current credit, B denotes the upper bound. The edge lower bound is always 0. Numbers within parentheses denote the amount of XRP owned by each user. So Alice owns 50 XRP. Charles owns 125. So here's the thing, right? You don't need millions of XRP. Look, even on this documentation, they show Edward owning 30. Does anybody own? You don't got to drop anything, but if you own 3,300 XRP, just go ahead and do this right here. Shake your hand, shake your own hand. You know what I mean? Because Edward owned 3,300 XRP. So if you guys look right here, XRP really is the bridge asset. It's the bridge currency. Figure 1 depicts an an excerpt of the Ripple network. Here, credit link Bitstamp, Alice. So let's find Alice. This is her right here. Alice got 50 XRP. Let's talk about it. Alice, hold on. Alice denotes that Bitstamp owes Alice $1 US. So if we look right here, Bitstamp owes her, the exchange owes her $1. Let's keep reading. And there is no upper bound for such credit link. So she has no upper bound. That's why there's an infinity for the credit link. The credit link gate hub Edward denotes that Gabe Hud owes him $5 in USD. Let's find Edward. So Edward got 3,300 XRP, but Bro said he still need his $5 of USD, and he has 100 of upbound credits. Okay, so just want to really just break down, like, a lot of this stuff maybe you don't understand. It doesn't really matter whether you understand it or not. It's just seeing that this is happening, and the documentation is out here, and you can go and you can type in, what does upbound credit mean? So guess what? Let's go do that together, because this is a show of research. So what does it mean to have an upbound? Let's check this out. Upbound credit. Let's see what that means. Let's see if we can find it. That might not even be what it's called, but I just typed something in real quick to just see if we can find, let's see here. Give me a second. See, I like the deep dive and research, y'all. This really is my, like, I love to do that. So let's go and take a look real quick, because I too want to have a better understanding of what they're talking about here. Upper bound. Okay, so upper bound. So they say no upper bound for such credit links. So sorry. So upper, that's what I was doing. Upper bound credit link. Let's see if we can find something. This might take too much research, y'all. This is gonna take too much research, but I would tell you all to go and research it yourself, because it's important. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's important. So with that being said, look, I'm not gonna bore y'all with no more boring stuff when it comes to just the back end things, but I wanted to just show you all that Ripple already had Bitstamp placed inside of their documentation. And now Robinhood's turning around and saying that they want to also acquire it. And there's a reason for that. Bitstamp is one of the oldest exchanges in the world out there as well. Okay, so with that being said, speaking of Bitstamp exchange, let's talk about Coinbase and how Coinbase is launching their new smart wallet, which again, y'all, takes us back to even the Robinhood move, with Robinhood moving into the mass adoption era. So is Coinbase. Remember, the thing that's going to allow for mass adoption is an even more simpler user interface and user experience. So I want to show you all the new user interface and user experience for this new smart wallet through Coinbase. It's about time. The easiest way to go on chain. So if you all haven't noticed, a lot of my messaging on social media, and even like a lot of the things that I'm doing now, for me, when it comes to the challenge that we're doing, the Rich Off Crypto Challenge, the reason why I'm doing this is because of onboarding. I told you all that one of the most important skill sets that you can have right now to make money, and you can look at me as an example, one of the most important skill sets where you can turn nothing into something is knowing how to onboard people properly into this new Web3 world. And if not just people, but if you can learn how to onboard children, if you can learn how to onboard adults, and you can learn how to onboard businesses and business owners, those are the three things that I'm focused on moving into this new year. I have 6 months to completely prep for 2025, because 2025, there's going to be a completely new agenda for me. I'm going to be real with y'all. Some of y'all going to say I'm brand new. A lot of y'all going to be like, oh, he don't worry about the little people no more. I gave the little people time. And a lot of y'all didn't listen. A lot of y'all didn't want to take advantage of these master classes. You're scared to spend money. You're scared to invest. And that's why you don't got no money. That's your problem, because you're scared to spend it. You're scared to invest it. You're scared to put your money where your mouth is. So with that being said, I'm going to transition. I don't even know if I'm going to do this podcast moving into 2025. To be real with y'all, I'm not going to have the time. I'm going to be focused on helping kids. I'm going to be focused on helping people who have a budget to be able to actually afford me. I'm talking about people who can afford 5 figures in mentorship. And I'm also going to be focused on businesses. My energy is going to shift in 2025. So these are the last 6 months for you to really get with me, especially if you don't have a big budget. If you don't have 10 grand plus for mentorship, you should go ahead and get with me now, because that's where my pricing is going. And I'm going to be working with people more on a mass base through these challenges. $97 for general admission, $297 for the VIP. Tickets are back up for sale. Straight up, I'm telling them, DC, like people don't believe me, bro, and people gonna say, "Oh, he an asshole because he don't worry about the little man no more." Man, listen, man, the little man don't even listen. The little man don't even listen. A lot of little men don't even listen. That's why I'm tired of wasting my time. I'm just gonna be real with y'all. I'm tired of wasting my time. I'm tired of like trying to connect with people that really don't even have the financial couth or the financial literacy to understand. Vincent is done with it. You know what I mean? Like 2025, I'm on to bigger and better things, and so should you. So with that being said, if you want to be a part of this new venture that we're going to move into, which is impacting school systems, because that's what really matter. Like if you're sitting at the age of 30, 40 plus years old right now, even if you're 25 plus right now, honestly, you really don't matter when it comes to crypto, because most of us are going to be long gone by the time this industry really scales to the forefront. So the people that really we need to be focused on is the little kids. The kids that's in first grade, second grade, third grade, kindergarten, pre-K, and the ones that can't even go to school yet. Those are the kids that are going to, later on down the road. Because if I think about me, when the dot-com bubble happened in 2001, when the World Trade Centers happened, I was in the 4th grade. Look at where we are now. There's so many people that were, a lot older then. I think about my grandparents, and they're moving out. Like they still don't know how to use the internet. Like they still don't know how to use these devices. So I'm just keeping it a buck with y'all, and I'm not turning my back, but I gotta shift the way that I'm doing things, because there's a bigger impact out here, and I truly believe it's the kids. I truly believe that, y'all. Like that's just in my heart, and then also businesses, onboarding businesses. So with that being said, I just want to tell you all kind of where the transition going, so that when it happens, y'all don't be like, yo, VO switched up on us. He not worried about us no more. No, I gave almost 300 episodes to this. You know what I mean? Like I've stayed consistent with this. And now it's time for us to reach for new stratospheres. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and play this quick exclusive interview with Ripple CEO, Mr. Brad Garlinghouse.
Right now, the main competitor in that space is SWIFT. That, of course, is the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Transactions. That's the global one that a lot of people use. They charge much more, do they not?
Yeah, they really are the dominant. I mean, SWIFT has been around for, 50, 60 years. And the frustrating part for all of us as users of SWIFT is that it really hasn't changed in 50 or 60 years. The architecture of how it works, it means it's slow, it's expensive, and frankly, it's quite error prone. Some studies are showing that about 6% of all SWIFT attempts to wire a SWIFT transaction end up in errors that bounce back, and then it takes days to get it back.
What about you guys?
Well, an XRP transaction and a payment flow for us is really real time. It's instant, it's cross-border. And the really powerful thing for a lot of our customers is they don't have to pre-fund accounts, because our customers are financial institutions. And the way SWIFT works, you're pre-funding, you have dormant capital sitting in other banks around the world. Using XRP, using RippleNet, our payments network, you don't have to pre-fund.
When we look at this suddenly coming alive cryptocurrency, at least in the past week or so now we've got Bitcoin back above 70,000. Some people are making the connection between that and the Roaring Kitty re-entry into the world, reactivating his account on Reddit and saying he owns $115 million worth of GameStop shares. Do you see any connection between his sudden emergence and all of the cryptos moving higher, like a meme stock feel back in 2021, where people were also diving into crypto?
Yeah, I think this momentum is really driven from what's happening on a political basis. And the United States remains the largest economy in the world, and it has been kind of backwards as its approach to cryptocurrencies. You know, countries like the UK are way ahead, Japan, Singapore, Switzerland. I mean, we are really behind the rest of the
And
world.
Ripple has offices in many of those cities.
We do. We have 14 offices around the world. And so for me, I think what's really driving the momentum right now is seeing that, you even said this earlier, the voice of crypto, the voice of Ripple, and is really gone up in the conversation in the United States. I think you're seeing shifts.
Well, some of that is money. You yourself, over the past 2 years, have given a total of $50 million to Fair Shake, the lobby firm that cryptocurrency people are really kind of filling the coffers there. And suddenly you have Donald Trump saying, I'm the crypto president. You have Joe Biden making some noise about, come on, lay off the regulations a little bit. You guys suddenly have a voice. You're the kitten that roared in a way.
Yeah. So I think it's less about the roaring kitten and more about, hey, you're seeing some of the political machinery in the United States move and act.
So Brad Garlinghouse doesn't think that it's roaring kitty or any of that stuff, speculative stuff that's moving this market right now. He believes it's because of the regulatory push right now that's pushing crypto, all of the products that's coming out, these ETFs and rumors of ETFs, and just all of these different avenues. So, that's a good thing because, even though meme coins are going crazy right now and there's a lot of degens, believe me, degens won't be here much longer. The people who will sustain in this industry is utility investors and utility focused companies out there. So, and the reason why I know that is because if you listen right here to what Gary Gensler said on Squawk Box, see, CNBC, you got to pay attention to the type of people they have come up. The first person we saw was the CEO of Robinhood speak. Then we saw the CEO of Ripple speak. Right now we're seeing on the same exact show, we're seeing the SEC's Chair Gensler come up and actually speak. And he's actually switched his stance, it seems like, on what he's saying in regards to crypto. Listen up.
Asked. Okay. Now, Polkadot, Cordana, Cosmos, Immutable, Ronin, Bonk, Osmosis, Sushi Swap, My Neighbor Alice have all traded millions. I'm talking about.
And pay attention to who's talking to him right now. Y'all already know who this is. This is Jim Cramer, right? So just pay attention to the conversation they have.
Millions of dollars this very morning. No, should we have a sushi swap? Maybe an ETF or the proprietary kind. Just I would think that Bonk is a natural and Osmosis. These are trading Garrett. These are millions of dollars. These things are traded. Shouldn't we have it? Shouldn't we have some sort of product?
Let me say something more broadly about the crypto markets. Right now, without prejudging anyone, these tokens, whether they're the ones Jim listed or other tokens, have not given you the disclosures that you not only need to make your investment decisions, but also that are required by the law. It's a basic concept in our securities market. We, the SEC, tomorrow are turning 90. Happy birthday, SEC, 90. And what President Roosevelt did is he created this commission to oversee that you, the investors, get disclosure. And in the crypto markets, they aren't giving you that disclosure. And secondly, that exchanges like here, this floor, the New York Stock Exchange, get properly regulated to protect against fraud and manipulation, and they don't trade against you. And these crypto exchanges, Jim, are doing things we would never allow this New York Stock Exchange to do. Our laws don't allow you to trade against your customers. And so you've seen the bankruptcies in this space. And there are some of the most leading lights in this field are either in jail, about to go to jail, or waiting extradition.
Okay, that's a suboptimal situation for them, but I'm looking at the.
But it's a suboptimal situation for investors. You're investing in a field right now that you're not getting the proper disclosure.
There's securities for people actually I know. I mean, their names, and there's nothing. You know that too.
No, that's funny, yeah.
I mean, some people even in this room have their names attached to a coin for no reason. Makes no sense.
I'm sorry, you guys have coins?
No, we don't.
There's a Kramer coin?
There should be, but there isn't.
Yes, there is a Kramer coin.
I hope it's properly registered.
Well,
That boy Gary Gensler ready to sue anybody. He said there's a Kramer coin. Did you register it? Hey, that boy ready to. Hey, that boy ain't playing with him. Hey, Gary, hey, you better not play with Gary. You know what I mean? Hey, look, Gary, we don't got a coffee coin. We don't got a coffee coin. I don't got a coffee coin yet. All right, so you're trying to come over here. All right, now, more on regulation. I honestly, that's really all that the content is right now out here. I see so much content on Twitter about, like, there's so much I could share, like so many meme coins, so many different things. And look, if y'all want the trajectory to start going that way, just let me know. All right, if that would grow the channel for me to be more of a degen, just let me know. All right, but you know, for me, I just, you know, it's hard for me to undermine this moment in history, because this is a moment in history. There will be a moment in history where there's not as much push in the White House and push on you know, on Capitol Hill when it comes to crypto. There'll be a whole nother thing that they're trying to focus on regulating, whether that's, you know, cannabis, I don't know, right? But this is a very special moment we're in right now. And it's very important for our future of us being able to not only understand, but be able to explain to our kids, because when you have kids now and later on, there's going to be new emerging markets that'll come up for them when they're in their 20s and in their 30s and in their 40s. There'll be a new emerging market the same way there's a new emerging market now. And if you can learn how to, you know, pay attention to the current times so that you can tell them about, the things that happened in the past so that they can predict the future to continue the wealth. Because that is, I believe that's the disconnect. The disconnect is that, you know, this is a gift. Teaching people about digital assets, teaching people about cryptocurrency, teaching people about how to do this research. Understand that if you can take this and you can instill these same qualities and these same skill sets into the future, and then you teach them how to do the same, that's how generational wealth is created and sustained. If you think about the Rockefellers, they had prerequisites put inside of their trust that their kids had to learn certain things to even be able to get the money out of the trust. Kids had to have the proper knowledge. So guess what? Your kids need to have the proper knowledge so that they can even receive this money out of your digital trust, right? Because hopefully you all are looking into these things. And if you aren't, I'm going to have someone come on the show eventually. The same way I told you I was going to have CJ the Smart Guy come on here. We'll have someone that'll come on here and talk about trust and digital trust and how to protect our assets, especially on the digital side, because, you know, I'm not an expert at that and I can only help you all so much. We have to find the people out here that's doing it. So with that being said, let's continue. I want to play this quick video by the DTCC. Not by the DTCC, but about the DTCC. Enjoy.
As for 5 minutes.
Chairman Hill, Ranking Member Lynch, and members of the subcommittee, good morning. My name is Nadine Chakar, and it's my privilege to testify before the Financial Services Subcommittee on Digital Assets, Financial Technology, and Inclusion. I serve as Managing Director and Global Head of DTCC Digital Assets, and I'm happy to be here today to discuss our role in driving innovation in the U.S. financial markets through the development of digital technology and tokenization solutions. On behalf of DTCC, thank you for this opportunity. DTCC owns and operates 3 clearing agencies that have been designated systemically important financial market utilities. NSCC, which clears broker-to-broker transactions in stocks, bonds, and other products, provides clearing and settlement services for approximately 200 million transactions a day. And our Central Securities Depository manages lifecycle events such as dividends and corporate actions for over 1.4 million eligible securities. DTCC is literally the heart of the post-trade processing in the United States securities industry. So not surprisingly, we are subject to strict risk management standards and heightened oversight by U.S. regulators, primarily the SEC and the Federal Reserve. DTCC is industry owned and governed, and we have a long history of innovating purposefully. More specifically to the topic of today's hearing, we have been developing digital asset solutions since 2016. DTCC recently acquired Securency, which now operates within the company as DTCC Digital Assets. DTCC Digital Assets provide institutional-grade blockchain infrastructure to facilitate end-to-end lifecycle processing for tokenized real-world assets. Our goal is to develop technology that could ultimately underpin the evolution of an enterprise-wide digital asset infrastructure. So in other words, we are working to align the company's existing infrastructure with new tokenization capabilities to realize the benefits of post-trade processing of real-world assets in digital form on blockchain. These efforts will allow market participants to unlock the opportunities presented by tokenization, including increased efficiencies in clearing, settlement, collateral management, and payments. I've assumed my role at DTCC when Securency, the company where I had the privilege of serving as CEO, was acquired. The founders of the company and I were gratified that DTCC viewed our technology as offering them the potential to integrate tokenization technology with their legacy systems for traditional securities transaction processing and lifecycle management. I must also say we've learned a few things since joining DTCC. We've become deeply involved in efforts to harden the Securency technology to ensure that it satisfies the incredibly robust requirements for operational resiliency. That applies to systemically important FMIs. We've also learned a great deal about the complexity of processes that exist in the industry. And perhaps the greatest lesson of all is that technology on its own won't change the capital markets. It will require collaboration and coordination among all stakeholders, and it needs to be measured and thoughtful. In terms of scale, the benefits of tokenization to mature markets like the US equities and fixed income markets is a tremendous opportunity, but it will take time. This work must be undertaken with due care for the important objective of the existing regulatory framework, including efficiency, resilience, robust financial risk management, transparency, most importantly, investor protection. The gold standard for tokenization, in our view, remains a regulatory framework that largely aligns to and is derived from current financial regulations, following the principle of same activity, same risk, same regulation, while recognizing that there may be areas that need of refinement and or clarification. By virtually any measure, the United States has the most liquid, efficient, and cost-effective financial market in the world. The critical role that DTCC plays in the US securities market may not be well understood outside of our industry. However, the services we provide benefits all participants in our capital markets, from Wall Street firms to Main Street investors who rely on markets to save for retirement, raise capital, start a business, or obtain a loan to purchase a house or a car. Time and time again, the global financial markets have leaned on financial market infrastructure to drive change. We believe digital securities and tokenization will be no different, and FMIs like DTCC have a critical role to play. We applaud the committee for this timely discussion, and we will continue to engage with Congress and our regulators as they explore these important topics. Thank you, and I look forward to answering your questions.
All right, so clarity is continuing to be pushed forward at Capitol Hill, as we've said, okay? Going outside of the US and talking about the BRICS and the BRICS currency, you know, there is a potential that RippleNet and XRP could facilitate the BRICS communal currency scheme by enabling fast, low cost, and secure cross-border transactions, which we understand. We know that Ripple has a lot of partners, specifically a lot of bank and institutional partners. And I would probably assume that some of their partners is on stage with them here on this panel discussion. This panel discussion that we're going to watch is called Blockchain and Global Money Transfers, Revolutionizing Efficiency and Transparency. Now, if you guys look right here, who's this guy? Who's this guy right here? Who's this guy right here? Does anybody know who this man is right now? I know y'all can't make it out, but he's part of the Ripple team. Okay, he's a part of the Ripple team. So I'm gonna play this quick video, and that way y'all can hear about what's going on at the Crypto Expo in Dubai.
I want to jump on another question where geopolitical tensions are on the rise. How that will impact the crypto space? Neem, this for you.
Thank you. I think that's a great question. Now, when it comes to geopolitics, I think we are talking about the West, we're talking about BRICS, and everything in between that. Now, given the fact what has happened with Russia, Ukraine, and then the whole world is divided in different triangles and in different segments, and even mobilization of some nuclear weapons to an extent, there is a strong need for a common currency. Now, with the recent event that happened for BRICS, the main thing in that particular one is, okay, are we going to see a currency which is going to threaten the status quo for the United States dollar? And where we sit, we think the threats are increasing on a daily basis. Now, will we see BRICS coming up with a cryptocurrency? Absolutely no. Maybe central digital, that's not going to be their option. What from their perspective, it is going to be a currency which is more likely to be backed by agriculture commodities such as wheat, rice, plus gold.
So isn't it? And so I want to stop it there, because what did he say, y'all? It's going to be backed by what type of commodities? Can y'all drop it real quick? Somebody go ahead and drop it real quick. What type of commodity did he say? Right? Let me make sure y'all were paying attention real quick. Let me make sure y'all was paying attention. Did anybody catch that? Let me just check real quick. Anybody catch it? Or y'all just slow typers? Y'all just slow typers? I bet. He said agriculture. He didn't say natural resources. He said agriculture. That's what he said. Open y'all ears up, man, so y'all can hear. All right. Open y'all ears up. Y'all ain't paying attention. That's why. That's why you ain't catch it. You ain't paying attention. And that's why you're gonna miss it, because you ain't paying attention. All right. Now, the Fit 21 Act that we just talked about, okay, who pushed out the Fit 21 Act? Who do you think? The House Committee on Agriculture. The House Committee on Agriculture. Oh, okay, Vincent. Oh, so the stuff, okay. Oh, okay. So the Fit bill, which, is one of the largest bills out there, has been pushed by agriculture. And you just heard the man say that that these folks, maybe you didn't hear the man say it. So let me rewind it, and maybe you'll listen this time.
Likely to be backed by agriculture commodities such as wheat, rice, plus gold. So I think rather than how our central banks in Bank of England or Federal Reserve Bank, where the currency isn't actually backed by physically with gold or with anything, but just the guarantee of the government, these BRICS countries are going to come up with a currency which is going to be backed by traditional methods of using gold and agriculture. Because right now, if we look at the overall geopolitical situation, prices for olive oil, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but over the last 48 hours, there was a lot of news flow, which is just saying olive oil prices have gone 100%. Rice prices are also increasing. I think when it comes to geopolitical tensions, it's not about fiat. And if it is not about fiat, I think digital currencies like cryptos are going to struggle to gain confidence among consumers. To gain confidence among consumers is going to be, okay, which particular block of countries have a currency which is actually backed by something? Because under those geopolitical conditions, dollar will lose value, pound will lose value, euro will lose value, because they're not backed with anything apart from a massive debt on the balance sheets. But in relation to BRICS, and then this is our own personal opinion and our research and base case scenarios, that those particular currencies are going to be more valuable, which are backed by actually gold and soft commodities, because at the end of the day, consumers will need them. Consumers will need grains to live. And I think gold is going to be a very important element.
Thank you so much.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it here first. So let's go over here real quick. Ripple partners with Clear Junction to enhance UK and Euro cross-border payments. I just wanted to just let y'all know real quick that they have another partnership that they just announced as of yesterday with Ripple. Clear Junction. Look, we don't have to go through all of this. We don't have to go through all of this stuff because we know what Clear Junction is. Clear Junction is just another remittance payment company, another payment processing company. So we don't have to go through it. Just want to show you all that there's another partner that's partnered with Ripple, okay? Another payment provider partner. Now, the very last thing I want to talk about in these last 11 minutes of our show today is this right here. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because if we fast forward back to where is it? It might be this video right here with Gary Gensler. And remember, Gary Gensler was talking about, remember he talked about crypto exchanges and how they don't disclose and they trade against their clients. Well, pay attention to what BlackRock and Citadel is trying to is actually funding right now. Now this one kind of slipped between the cracks. A lot of people didn't catch this one, and I want to make sure y'all caught this one here on the show today because it's very, very important. Watch this right here.
Could say that this is a bit of a long shot in the Lone Star State. How hard is it to actually build and launch an entirely new exchange?
That's right, Katie. Well, they first have to get approval from regulators. So they will file with the SEC. Once that gets done, they have to actually then gain momentum. They actually have to see the trading start to happen. And whenever you have a new exchange, that really what needs to happen first is that the volumes increase and that incentivizes investors and market makers to route to that exchange. Really, if there's increased liquidity, that means that there's going to be better pricing more often. And that's why NYSE and NASDAQ, in growing their own liquidity, have been able to keep such dominance and keep their volumes so high over time.
Yeah, it's a good point, of course. And at the end of the day, it's all about liquidity. And also, too, on the timeline here, I mean,
all about
there's
liquidity.
Steps still, but it's interesting to see this because you know very well that there's a bit of an IPO drought right now. IPO volumes have been very, very muted. When it comes to the Texas Stock Exchange, I mean, what is the potential vision here for the business in terms of what they're targeting?
I don't know if y'all understand, but this is real history being made. Right now, there's only two major exchanges, the NYSE or NYSE and the NASDAQ. Those are the two exchanges. Now you have the TSE, which is the Texas Stock Exchange, that'll be the third major exchange out here, y'all. And liquidity is a problem, y'all. So who do you think is going to provide that liquidity? I can't say Ripple and XRP because it's not happening yet, but it is a solution.
So it does seem like they're targeting corporations that would go to NYSE and NASDAQ, but might be frustrated with some of the new rules and regulations, the compliance that is put in place. Think about NASDAQ's board diversity program that they have put in that might limit some companies that don't meet the certain threshold that is placed for listing on NASDAQ. If they still want to go public but don't meet the threshold, they might choose the Texas Stock Exchange. That is really what this business is targeting. They want to be an open venue that has less rules, less restrictions than NYSE and NASDAQ. They're going to really promote themselves as the welcoming Texas state that is welcoming to companies that might not want to go through the hurdles that they would see in New York.
And I mean, this news is interesting in and of itself, but also interesting are some of the backers. Like we said, Citadel, BlackRock, among the investors here. What could be the bet on their part? Are they trying to hedge something here?
So this is not the first time that we've seen market makers like Citadel, Virtu back exchange operations. In 2019, the members exchange, Memex, which is still up and operating, they, along with some of the biggest banks, backed their new exchange that is, again, still in play, and they are taking market share from some of the big incumbents. And we've seen Howard Lutnick's futures exchange that is to launch later this year. That is not in equities, but in futures. But again, this is a big play for participants that might just want more venue, more choice. And there's also sometimes a financial incentive when you are a backer of the exchange. You might get actually more of the ownership in the exchange if you send more volumes to that venue.
Wow. Well, just wanted to play that for y'all real quick so you can hear that quick video. And here's their official website. There's nothing on it yet, but the Texas Stock Exchange will focus on enabling U.S. and global companies to access U.S. equity capital markets and will provide a venue to trade and list public companies in the growing universe of exchange-traded products, ETFs, ETPs, exchange-traded products. Listen, I hope y'all understand Texas. Texas is more bullish on crypto than New York. Texas has better laws in place in Texas than New York. Why do you think they're launching the Texas Stock Exchange? They're launching this because there are companies like Hedera Hashgraph, which is coming out of Texas, that may need an ETP, an exchange traded product, or ETF. There's a company like Ripple that may want to actually IPO and go public and then have the XRP, ETF, and ETP. This could be a start of a new phase. And so even though we can't, we can predict, but we can't say this is going to happen. But remember, on episode 205, we talked about the Texas Stock Exchange first here. We talked about how this could lead into the revolution of a lot more cryptocurrencies being able to come out in ETFs and ETPs. All right. So just be on the lookout. So BlackRock and Citadel Securities backed TXSE Group to launch Texas Stock Exchange. Anytime BlackRock is behind something, you know it's a big deal. So if BlackRock got behind this company, then you best to believe that there could be something to look forward to. So just stay patient, stay diligent, and continue to keep this company on your mind. Now, the reason why I wanted to play this video lastly, okay, is because 6 years ago, Lehman Bear, drop a 7 if you own a little H bar, because this right here should have you bullish. Lehman Bear was talking about stock markets leveraging Hashgraph's guaranteed fair ordering capabilities. Hedera Hashgraph is out of Texas. Guess what? So is the Texas Stock Exchange. Most recently, Larry Fink has been talking about tokenization of TradeFi. Today, we learned that the Texas Stock Exchange Group, backed by BlackRock, are launching a new stock exchange. But let's listen to what Lehman Baird had to say, CEO and founder of Hedera Hashgraph 6 years ago today. Pay attention.
So imagine this. We're going to have a stock market, but we're not going to have the New York Stock Exchange set up a computer that we all have to trust New York Stock Exchange Incorporated to be honest in their computer. Instead, we're going to let each of the brokers have a computer, and those computers themselves are the stock market. There is no one else. There is no stock market corporation involved. It's just the brokers themselves being the stock market. And they don't trust each other, definitely. But there's enough of them, let's imagine, that they can assume that no 1/3 of them are going to gang up on the rest. In a stock market like that, every time you put in a bid or an ask, every time you said, I want to buy a share of IBM at this price, or I want to sell a share of IBM at this price, your bids and asks are going out. Other people's bids and asks are going out. You want the stock market to match them up. And you could say something like, well, when I offer to buy something, the first person who offers to sell at that price matches up with me. Or when I offer to sell something, the first person who offers to buy at that price will match up with me. If we do a stock market like that, then we start to care a lot about exactly what order the transactions are in. If you put in a bid, and I put in a bid, and mine, actually, I put it in later than yours, but I could bribe somebody and get mine to count as before yours, that would be bad. People spend millions and millions of dollars just to shave milliseconds off of how long their bids go into the stock market. This is an incredibly important thing to stockbrokers. They would never use a market where it was possible for one individual to arbitrarily reorder some of the ordering or influence the bids and asks into a bad ordering, the way they want it to be. In Hashgraph, what we do is we have fair ordering. When you send out your transaction, it's going to go to the community as fast as possible, and you're going to get credit for it when it reaches most of the community. And when I send out my transaction, I'm going to get credit for it when it reaches most of the community. And whoever reached most of the community first is going to count as being first. And there's no one person that I could slip some money to that would get mine put before yours. If you reach the world before I reach the world, then you get credit for it, guaranteed.
Wow. I want to watch that whole interview right there. I got to watch, that whole lecture right there. I got to go find that lecture. That's a good lecture right there. But look, y'all, now you can officially see, like, if you can't see what the technology is being used for, you should be able to see it now. Like, literally, he just broke it down and told you what Hashgraph is for. He talked about the solution, one of the solutions as to why they even created Hashgraph for the stock market exchanges. This is huge news. This is big stuff, y'all. And just know that you are in the right hands. Just like Allstate, you are in the right hands. Okay, with that being said, thank you all so much for being the best part of Coffee and Crypto. We can now start our Q&A session. And remember, guys, if you need any type of one-on-one assistance, you can book an hour of time with me or more if you would like to, but you can book an hour of time. I would recommend that you all book these hours. Right now, we're at $300 an hour. I will be increasing my prices to $1,000 an hour. So if you want to sit down with me, we'll be $1,000 moving into this new phase that we're moving into. So I would recommend that everybody get their hours in now. Everybody get it in, because prices will go up. If you need time to sit down and talk about your crypto portfolio, you want to go over it, you want to sit down with an advisor, understand that we are the best. We're the best. Here at Coffee and Crypto, we've been doing it long enough. We know exactly what you need to go through the next bull run. We have technical analysis, we have fundamental analysis, understanding, and ultimately diversification. If you need to re-diversify your portfolio, if you need to diversify a portfolio, you can get up with us, book those hours. You can email me. You can call me. Well, you can't call me today because my phone's gone, but whatever the case may be, shoot me a text and I am here for you. With that being said, I don't see any hands raised up. So I want to say thank you all so much for being the best part of our show. And then we will see you on episode 206 on next Tuesday. And we do have some interviews coming up in the next couple of weeks through June. So be on the lookout for these next interviews that we have of companies that are doing big things here in the world of Web3. Have an amazing day, and I'll see y'all at the top, not just from the top.